I just read my favorite book of 2020, and since you saw the thumbnail, most likely you can guess what that is. Rage of Dragons. It was my favorite of 2021 so far, favorite since, I think, either The Way of Kings or Dune. It's definitely not as good as Dune because this is a completely different story than Dune. But yes, it's in my top 5 books so far, and I really, really, really loved it. And if I can find my notebook, it's right here. I can tell you all about The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I'm going to have a spoiler-free section. Probably going to have a why you should read in the future. But like right now, I'm going to be spoiler-free. I'm trying hard, but I'm just going to say it. A lot of this book, a lot of what he does revolves around a spoiler. So can't really say much about it. All I'm going to say is, for spoiler-free section, it's an extremely revenge-based story. He does all of his work for revenge, and he does it of pure hatred and revenge. So if that's just really, that's where he comes from. Or Tao, if you don't know who I'm talking about, Tao's our main character. He's an amazing main character. He's one of my favorite mains in a long time. He has some great motives right now, and he's just a great person. He's not really a great person. He does a lot of things that I wouldn't consider it grimdark, but he does a lot of things that it's not very protagonist-like to do. So it's that in there. He's a very good protagonist. And if a lot of action and training turns you off, about 90% of the book is fighting or training. There's not really a lot of sitting down. And that's just part of Tao's character. That's just Tao's mentality. He's fighting, he's training, and he's always trying to get better. He's not good from the start. That's one thing a lot of protagonists do. They're just really, really good. Tao, it's not the case with Tao. He has to work for everything he gets, and that's really, really awesome to see, because he's not just like being good at it. He's training. 90% of this book, he's just trying to get better and better. At one point, actually, I'm not going to spoil it. I'll say that for the spoiler section. But yeah, and that's what he's doing the whole book. And then he does. It's really hard to spoil. It's really hard not to spoil this book. But I read this when I was at camp. I could not put it down, and I have so much respect for Evan Winter. I will be continuing with his second book once I finish Murderbot 1. And then but I did really love this book. 5 out of 5. I loved all the action. He does really good action, honestly. And Evan Winter does. And I am so excited for the second book. And this cover art's quite amazing. I really love just the African design and just the African heritage in this book. It really, really ties in, and it ties in really well. And you can tell it's African, and I love it. It's really, really, really good. It's done excellently. And I really just think everything in this book was executed very well. Like, honestly, Tao is probably the best main character. And then you will see a lot from him, and Azuri was a great add-on. She was really, really, really strong and powerful, and it's hard not to spoil this book, if you know what I mean. So, from right here's where I'm going to cut it off. Spoilers from now on. Giving you time to turn is off. Come back later. Please read this book. It's amazing. Rage of Dragons. So now, spoiler in 3, 2, 1. Okay, bye-bye. Non-spoiler people who haven't read the book. But a lot of this book does kind of revolve around Tao's father dying early, and he's basically have a hit list of whoever was involved in killing his father, and he tries to kill as many people as possible who were involved in killing his father, and that's really what powered Tao throughout this book. And as you can see if you've read the book, at the end of this book, he takes a loss. Like, he loses Zuri, and that honestly, I was so shocked. It was very, very masterfully played. He's not afraid to kill off characters. I love it when authors kind of have a character who they build, and then they're not afraid to kill. Like, especially through one book, like an arc in one book, he planned the death through the whole book, and honestly, I could tell the Talos father was going to die, mainly because he was the father of a protagonist, and I'm like, oh, well, give him a couple pages, he's dead. That's what I expected. I did not expect Zuri dying, and I was, but it did feel like it was supposed to happen. And I was like, I was shocked. I was shocked. But like, and like even Tao's father, he was a great character. He was so supportive of Tao, and then this fuels Tao, and especially what happened at the end, which I mentioned before. It will give him crazy like powers and like ambitions for the fight of the vengeance. Like there's gonna be more rage in here, mainly because there's the word vengeance in the title, and that's just his character. He just kind of rages, and that's Tao. And I really love where it's from, where it comes from, and I really enjoyed this book. That's what it led me to give me a 5-star. One of the best books I've ever read. Not the best book I've ever read, but very good. As for the criticisms, I do not have a lot, but it's the thing, I can't really find any. But again, if you're not in for 100% action and not as much dialogue, there's dialogue. It's just mainly around killing people, and if you're not into that, that's probably gonna shut you off for this book. But I was okay with it. So I thought I was a little much times, but I was okay with it, and I really did like it. So yep, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Read this book.